Okay, I hope you are doing fine this time. Welcome to today's lesson, and I would like us to focus on grade 9 project part of theater, that is performing art. Under performing art, there's this area of theater where they are supposed to touch on, and more so the area of creating a 3-minute story. So in our today's lesson, I want us to take you through step by step a guide to creating a 3-minute story on societal issues. Remember, they are supposed to create a story on the social issues affecting the community or the society or the country at large. Now, be with me from the start up to the end so that you may not miss any bit of this process or procedures. Now, let's go to the first stage or the first procedure. And in this area, we are supposed to choose a specific societal issue. Choose a specific societal issues. And here I have given you some of the issues you can focus on. The first one is gender inequality. We have unemployment or domestic violence. We have a societal issue of drug abuse and corruption. And lastly, we have the issue of mental health stigma. So those are some of the societal issues the learner can choose one of them and come up with a story. Remember, they are supposed to work in group, and in those groups they are supposed to discuss and come up with a synopsis of the story. So that's the first stage the learner is supposed to do. Let's go to the second stage, and the second stage, it's about defining your core message. Let the learner define their core message, and here they are going to ask themselves about these areas. So the first area they are going to ask about themselves is, what do I want my audience to feel, learn, or do after hearing the story? So after narrating the story, what will they want the audience to feel, to learn, or do after hearing the story? And the second part they are supposed to focus on under defining their core message is this message of hope, awareness, warning, or a call to action. So it's also an area that they are supposed to focus on when creating their 3-minute story on societal issue. Let's go to the third procedure, and here we are creating a strong character. Now let the learner create a strong character. So it's a character or a narrator. So it's the one that they will be creating to be strong. So here they will be focusing on building a relatable character, and when they will be focusing on building a relatable character, let them focus on the area of age, background, and goals or struggles of the character, and also let them make the audience care about them. Let them make the audience care about them when they will be listening to the story. And lastly, under the third stage, let the character be, the character can be you, that is personal story, or someone fictional but realistic. So those are the areas that the learner has to focus on. So direct them through those areas. So after the third stage, let's go to the fourth stage. And in the fourth stage, the learner will be focusing on the structure, the story. They will be structuring the story, and that is use the 3-part rule. Use the 3-part rule. So let me take you through the first rule of the 3-part rule. The first one is beginning, that is 30 to 45 seconds. 30 to 45 seconds, that's the beginning. So here the setup, I'm talking about the setup of the story. So here let the learner introduce the characters and setting, and also show what life was like before the problem. Then we have the second part of the 3-part rule, that's the middle, and it is 1.5 to 2 minutes. So here we are talking about the conflict now in the story, and here the learner is supposed to introduce the challenge or societal issue, and also show the impact and emotional weight. And apart from that one, let them also include a turning point or key event in that middle stage or the conflict stage. And the last stage in the 3-part rule is the end, and that has been given 30 to 45 seconds. That's the resolution now. Here the learner is showing the change, reflection, or outcome of the story. and here they can leave a message or a lesson. Remember, it's the end, so they can leave a message or a lesson learned from the story. And remember, or a note, the resolution doesn't always need a happy ending. Realistic endings are often more powerful, so let the ending be more realistic so that it can be a story which is more powerful. Let's go to the 5th stage, and here we are using now emotional and sensory language. Emotional and sensory language. Here, remember, these learners have been taught about the technique a good narrator or a good storyteller has to possess. Now, those techniques they have to be shown at this point, where we are using emotional and sensory language, and here they are supposed to describe sights, sounds, feelings in that story, and also make the audience feel the story, not just hear it. I.e., her hands trembled as she hid the torn school uniform under her bed, so the hands were trembling. So that is something that is the audience will feel the story, not just hear it. So here you are supposed to demonstrate to the audience how the hands were trembling. So those are the 5 stages, and the last stage under this one is the end with impact. End your story with impact. And here you can, how are you going to end your story? You can end your story by using a question or a call to action or a powerful final line. For example, if it happened to her, could it happen to you? So that's a question that is being posed to the audience. It's a rhetorical question, so the audience are not supposed to answer that question at that point. So it is something that will be reigning in their mind so that they can come up with an answer on that question. So example, I have here an example of a story or a narrative touching on societal issue, and the one that I have selected is about bullying, and the theme or title of the story is The Empty Desk. So let's go through the story and see how I have created this story. So let's start by the beginning or the setup, that is 40 seconds. So in a small village school, there was a boy named Kevin. He was quiet, always sitting in the last row, his eyes glued to the floor, never raising his hand. He wore the same faded sweater every day, the sleeves too short and his shoes torn at the front. The other children laughed at him. "Hey, Scarecrow, does your mother wash that sweater once a year?" The teacher never said much, just looked away. So that's the first part of the beginning. So let's go to the middle. That's the conflict, 1 minute to 40 seconds. So it started with words, but soon became more. At break time, his bag would be thrown out the window, and in the evening he would walk home. With his socks soaked. Someone had poured water in his shoes again. And yet, Kevin never fought back. He just smiled, a tired, hollow smile every day. He came back, until one Monday his desk was empty. A week passed, 2, 3. No one talked about it. Then, one morning, the teacher entered with red eyes and trembling hands. She said, Kevin will not be coming back. He took his life on Saturday." Silence. Not even the birds outside chirped. One of the boys who used to tease him whispered, "It was just a joke." So let's go to the end. That's resolution. That's 40 seconds. That empty desk stayed empty. That empty desk stayed empty. Every day, the teacher left it untouched. No books, no bag, no Kevin. Until 1 month later, a note appeared on it, written in a child's hand. "I am sorry, Kevin. I wish I had said something." The class changed. The joke stopped. They had learned too late that words can wound deeper than sticks. Now, when a new student joins, they don't laugh. They ask, Wanna sit with us? Because sometimes a hello can save a life. Moral lesson or the message: bullying is never just a joke. Speak up, reach out, and choose kindness. So that's the end of my narration of that story. I hope you have learned something. Let's give this message to the learners in grade 9 so that they can carry out this project in the correct way they are supposed to do it, and give them the genuine marks they deserve. Be blessed, and may God bless you more. Remember to subscribe, like, and share so that it can reach more people, so that the knowledge can be shared and impact some changes in our learners.